Hello, Tiger fans. Thanks for joining us for a new season of Tiger Timeout on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. Matt Payton with you as the Tigers and Lady Tigers get their campaigns underway this week. Also in action this coming weekend. Busy time around the Powell Athletic Center and on campus as the head coach of the Lady Tigers joins me, Ginger High Colvin, the third-ranked team in the country in the preseason poll. Coach, you get to roll the round ball out and play earlier this week, but I know it's been a long off season, some life changes for you. You sent one off to college this summer, and you bring in a whole host of new Lady Tigers.
Yep.
It's a wild time for sure.
You're asking me to get through this session and
we're
talking
gonna
about
make
sending
it.
my child off to school.
I saw he was here last night.
He
Oddly
was.
enough, I think you guys were in a local restaurant behind my wife yesterday. But anyway, Kobe was here yesterday, so he got to come in and watch the season opener. He knows what's important.
When the cash flow gets low, that we need
I thought it was
something.
for the game.
He says it was for the game, and I do think he does miss being able to come as often. But yeah, he's off and he's enjoying it, and his mama's missing him. That's for sure.
Well, the Lady Tiger roster takes a whole new look. And yesterday we joked before the game. Benji asked Miranda Denny. He said, "Why don't you guys you guys are going to commentate and we'll coach?" And Hootie said, "You might be able to handle it." And I said, "I can't, because I'm going to say get the ball to number 5." And Bella wasn't available wearing number 5 now, but going back, that's been Lauren Lee the last several years.
Yeah, there's another team getting the ball to number 5 right now, and we're excited to watch her and her further what she's doing. But yeah, we sure do miss her. We miss her knowledge and just her leadership. It's going to be a big change for her coach. I can promise you that.
You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just get it to number 5, no matter what institution she's playing for. But Maddie Nally and others moving on, coach, and you have to replace some of those numbers. You bring in a ton of freshmen, but let's talk about a few of those returners briefly. And making out that starting lineup yesterday. I know you had options, you had places to go, but you've got a senior group that's going to help lead you this year. And certainly when you look at Whitney Hay and Tyra Flowers and Paige Serafini, those are young ladies that have been around a while, not just here, but other places as well, and it's a great leadership group.
Yeah, it's a great group of kids to be around on the floor and off the floor. They're in great shape. They've done a good job with their conditioning. They're in the gym a lot. They lead our kids well, and I'm really proud of how they've grown since they've come here. And they don't have any juniors. It's just those 3 seniors, and then we jump all the way down to our sophomore class, and we're excited to get on the floor. Crazy enough, we were the last Mid-South team to play a game, and I thought we were playing super early when I went and did the schedule, but we were the last team to play, and just to see what we have and see where we are. And we had a couple scrimmages, but it's time now, and these freshmen are going to have to grow up pretty quick.
And the sophomore group you talk about, you've got Talon Shear and Hallie Allen and Dia Bradley certainly have garnered a lot of attention. And then you look at Bella Stiles, who was unavailable last night, and certainly you hope to have her moving forward. Ella House was in that group and got hurt a season ago. Jordan Collum as well. I hope I'm not forgetting anyone, but these rosters get you and Brent both we've added here a little bit, so it's getting tough to keep up with.
Rachel Presley was in there, but Rachel has actually injured her knee again. So she has an MRI this Thursday, tomorrow, and we'll find out what's going on with her. But yes, that's a good group. And Bella was unavailable yesterday. She had a little elbow to the mouth and had to sit that one out. But it's a good group. It's probably one of the hardest working groups I've ever been able to coach, and that makes things a lot easier. I got the midterm grades. The midterm grades are great, and they're working hard on the floor and off the floor. We've just got to grow up pretty quick if we want to be able to be competitive at the end of the season.
And the thing that intrigues people the most are probably the unknowns, and the unknowns for Lady Tiger fans, the freshman group. And I know that we've talked a lot over the off season, and even going back to last year when some of these young ladies were committing. And top to bottom, I think there's sky's the limit for the group as a whole. But you look at Lainey Johnson and what she accomplished at Anderson County, and Abby Gilbert. her length. I think you get a piece that's 6'3" with that athleticism at this level of basketball, and people are going to be really excited about that. And you got to see those two last night, and then you start to look at some of the others that you'll work in there. Kinsley Molden showed her ability to shoot the basketball. On and on down the list, Katie Geralds and Saylor Hutchinson. I think the coolest thing was all of them got into the scoring column last night, so all those freshmen got their first points. That's out of the way.
I wondered that after. I didn't know, but yeah, it's a great group. They've all been playing JV, or most of them have been playing JV. I think Kinsley's averaging about 6 threes a game in JV. She can really, really shoot it. We've got two Katies, Katie Smiley and Katie Geralds. We're calling Katie Geralds KG. That's a nickname that came with her. And Saylor Hutchinson, another freshman that's playing JV. And these kids are just tremendously hard workers. Some that have got a little bit more size that we really need to jump in there. And you mentioned Abby Gilbert and then Katie Smiley. That's two kids with great size and tremendous abilities as far as handling the basketball, as far as passing the basketball, and doing some things for us that we need. And then you throw Lainey Johnson in there. Lainey's another 6-footer that plays a guard position, but it's I think we've mentioned all of those freshmen. And then we had to bump Ella back because of a redshirt season last year, and she's just shown so much leadership to be that young. And I've thrown her in at a point guard spot, and she's handling it really well. She's smart. She's gritty. She's an Abby Miller of the past. And Abby Miller of the past is a kid that we couldn't live without. So if I put you in a group like that, that's pretty good company to keep.
High praise, to say the least. So you get compared to an old number 3, as Ella wearing number 3 now for you guys. And
it's yet to be known if she's as mean as Abby was. So we'll find that out.
See, that's a side of Abby we didn't get to see, but Abby I think she's a natural born winner. Like
yes,
she was
she
one of those
that
she's going to go down with the ship. If it wasn't going to be her night,
if I'm picking a ship, I'm picking her.
Absolutely.
I can promise you.
That's a good one to be
fun
on.
Fact, she named her son Campbell after Campbellsville, so they're doing great. But yeah, I got off a little bit on
that's
that.
a pretty neat little tidbit there. The off season kind of comes in waves. You've got different camps that you're doing. You finally get your kids back on campus there in mid-August. Then you can pick up a basketball in September. I know we've talked to your preseason camp and a lot of CrossFit stuff, but walk me up through, especially the part where you're trying to get these freshmen ready.
One thing we're doing different this year is CrossFit, and Shannon Wathen, softball coach, and Bryce told us that they had started using the CrossFit program here in Campbellsville and loved it. And Shannon made the comment, I would love to see it with the kids with length. She doesn't recruit kids with length like we do, and our kids are they have fallen in love with it. And of course, you have to have people that work really hard with you, and they've done a great job at where the girls are going, and they have gotten stronger. And we ask them constantly how they feel. And one thing I think that Whitney Hay told me, she said, I feel like I recover faster. I feel like I'm stronger, but I feel like I recover faster. And it's been a really, really good thing for us, because I feel like that's passed us up a little bit, and these people know what they're doing, and we're excited about it.
So then you get to practice point. Could you tell a difference, especially, I guess maybe with those freshmen, because they are new, training for a high school game, smaller court, shorter game time, and then being ready for a college atmosphere is a little different.
I think Derek Port, our trainer, could tell faster than we could. He started noticing things in the training room, started noticing just when maybe if they had maybe a pulled muscle or whatever. He said the definition and their strength and those things were really different. And I feel like in the long run that's going to pay off for us. We've got a really great plan. He's incorporated a lot into that plan as far as when you really want to peak and when you don't want to peak physically.
Right.
We always talk about wanting to peak as a team, but now there's studies and it shows when you want to peak physically, and he's had a lot of great input to that.
The Lady Tigers will continue their season this coming weekend. They'll be on the road in McKenzie, Tennessee. They got a win over Union Commonwealth University this week in the Powell Center. We'll step away, take a break, come back, recap the victory, and look ahead for the Lady Tigers. Stay with us here on Tiger Timeout.
Hey, honey. We thought we'd try something new.
Family art hour. What do you think?
You got jokes. You're funny.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Learn more at adoptuskids.org.
We are champions of character.
Welcome back to Tiger Timeout here on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. Thanks for joining us. Matt Payton here with you in the studio as we look back at Campbellsville's season opening victory as well as the upcoming weekend on the road in McKenzie, Tennessee. The head coach, Ginger High Colvin, joins me. And Coach, first game of the year, always some nervous energy, some jitters. Union Commonwealth comes to town. They had already played a game. I know you had the two scrimmages, so both of you probably ready to go. And what an impressive performance by your bunch. You jump out of the gate quickly and you kind of get that early lead and really never look back. Ended up being a 75-point win. Those are hard to come by at the NAI level.
Yes, they are. Momentum's a big thing and early in the season, and we do have a lot of depth. Union Commonwealth had played Lindsay on Friday. Their depth is obviously not as much as what we had, so we were able to capitalize on that, and then we hit shots. We handled the pressure well. They're a full court pressing team, and they'll press you for 40 minutes. And if you can handle the pressure well, you're going to be successful or hope to be successful. And we've got some kids, even kids with size, that handle the ball well. We're very unselfish, which is something I was very happy with. And when we do those things against a team like that's going to press, you're going to be able to put some points on the board.
And the Lady Tigers, the win there was 112-37. It was Whitney Hay that led the way with 19 points. Coach Hay, an efficient ball game, 8 of 9 from the field. Abby Gilbert chipped in 14 for you guys, and Lainey Johnson 13. And Lainey may have had the most impressive stretch of the ball game for you. Kind of a real menace defensively, 5 steals to go with some other plays that she had made. And again, you don't become a 3-time region, but to win a region player of the year as a sophomore is pretty impressive. Comes with added pressure to then be able to do it again as a junior and finish that as a senior. That's a special talent that you brought in there.
Yeah, she's a basketball player. There's no doubt about it, and she's a worker. Her high school coach, was teammates of Paige Serafini, and played for the same person Sammy Rogers played for, and he knows talent, and he started talking to us about Lainey Johnson when she was in 7th grade, and we knew of her, and we knew what she was capable of, and she, like most kids, comes in and has to work, and defensively has to do different things, and there's still things that she's going to have to do, but off the ball defensively, she anticipates extremely well, and she can pass the ball, she can shoot the ball, handles it well, and but she came in as in as good a shape as any freshman I've ever had come in, and she'd made the comment to her high school coach that she was not going to come in and not be in shape, and she was a woman of her word, and when you have a kid that driven, it's nice.
You guys are able to turn over Union Commonwealth quite a bit in yesterday's game. Is that one of the things you want to see initially, is not just the returners and those kids that are in the starting lineup or early off the bench, but see how those freshmen can handle playing twilight and the different things that you do defensively?
Yeah, it's so different. What we do is really, really different from what they've been accustomed to. One is our defense is very different, and our rotations are different, and they've picked up on it really well. And then we play a lot of kids, and we share the basketball, and that's something that you have a kid that's coming in, and most of the time they were the best player on the team. Most of the time they had to go get buckets every time, and now they're able to take a little of that stress off and share that stuff and be able to be all around. And I think that's something that all of them have jumped right in there. They've worked hard, and we've had no problems with any of that. And I think this group, and there's no secret, I'm so excited about this freshman group. And it's just going to be fun to watch them grow.
I don't know how many teams, I joked with you after the game about this, I don't know how many teams in the country can bring in, you got a starting 5 and you bring in a second 5 and 4 of them are 6-footers. That is a luxury most teams don't have. It gives you those so many options, not only offensively, but defensively. And it's not like they're just, they're not, big and awkward 6-footers. These kids can all move.
And the thing about it, our 2 biggest, you take Katie Smiley, who ran some in high school, and she can handle it. She can go coast to coast with it. Abby Gilbert can handle the ball. She can grab the ball off the rim and put it on the floor, and those are things that and they're both very good passers. Abby Gilbert is a very good passer from the 5 spot, and I'm excited to see what else she can do with us offensively. And then, we've got a kid coming in next year, Carrie Ann Williams, that's going to fit right in with there, another 6'3" kid. So I'm always so excited about size because it's something that's really hard for us to get, and have great guard play to go along with that. And being able to have that length and have what we do. Talon Shear is a kid that's right at 6 foot. Again, she can be a point guard. She handles it. She's so smart offensively and defensively, and just a sophomore. And you throw her and Hallie Allen and Dia and Bella and those Jordan Collum, those kids in the mix there, and I'm really excited about this group.
Well, we'll see how excited you are Friday evening about 6 o'clock
as the
Lady Tigers hit the road, and this is fun stuff, especially for someone in my seat. But a top 10 matchup right out of the gate. Indiana Wesleyan's one of the premier programs in the NAIA, as are you guys as well. This is a heavyweight bout, and number 3, number 10. And don't blame me, blame Chris Nelson, but
we can blame him for a lot of things.
He got you into the Chamber Classic, but the good news is he's got to turn around and play him on Saturday.
I think he accidentally scheduled me with them first. I'm not sure what the problem was there, but it's great to have that. Mid-South is going to be extremely, extremely competitive again this year. All the teams have reloaded. Some still have that depth that they had last year, and just thinking about that is enough to bother you. But then when you start your season off with a top 10 team, that's going to give you some sleepless nights. But it's going to make us better. It's going to let us see where we are. They're well coached, and he's really brought in some talent this year.
Yeah, and they did have to kind of shuffle the deck. They were a very heavy senior graduate group. So Coach Whaley did lose quite a bit. But again, the era of the transfer portal, you can kind of circle the wagons in one off season.
Yes, that's an interesting little thing. I hope it's a tornado I never have to jump in, but it is something that's pretty much taking over basketball. And these high school kids, I think, need to take note that these now there's talk of a 5th year. It's not been voted on yet, but it's really possible that there's going to be a 5th year, and that's going to change things even more. But it's the wild, wild west out there with this transfer portal, and I like our way of doing it, getting to know these kids and bringing them in, and it's working for us so far.
It certainly makes my job more fun. And then Saturday, Tiger football will be down in Montgomery, Alabama at Faulkner, so you guys won't be on the air Saturday, but a very good Johnson program over the last few years, and that certainly won't be a walk in the park by any stretch. That is a talented club, and that's a quick turnaround for you guys there, going Friday night, Saturday afternoon.
And it's a little stressful going into it because it will be a quick turnaround, and there's no film on them right now. They haven't played. I'm sure they've scrimmaged, but they don't have any film up for their players this year. We'll get to see them first when they play Bethel. So that's a little tough on us, but we'll get it figured out, and hopefully go down there and play well.
Coach, best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
The Lady Tigers on the road in McKenzie, Tennessee. It's a 7 o'clock tip-off on Friday night against the Indiana Wesleyan Wildcats. I'll have coverage beginning at 6:45 on 88.7 The Tiger, and then on Saturday we encourage you to follow through Bethel outlets and Campbellsville University social media coverage for updates on the Lady Tigers. We'll step away here, come back, and we'll visit with the head coach of Tiger basketball, Brent Vernon, on Tiger Timeout.
Owen, when you came into my life, it was a whirlwind.
I just can't do it.
We didn't know what the future would hold, but we knew you would always be a part of it. Adopting you was the best decision in our life.
And I'm so proud
to call you my son.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Welcome back. Tiger Timeout continues here on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. Matt Payton here with you once again as we turn our attention over to the Tigers. The Tiger basketball team gets their season underway this past week in the Powell Center and a victory over Reinhardt University. Campbellsville getting the win over the Eagles. And as Coach Brent Vernon joins me, Coach, we'll talk about the win over Reinhardt in a moment. But I know getting that first one under your belt, getting that first one under out of the way, you're flying blind, you're playing a quality opponent. I know that makes for some sleepless nights, and getting that first one's always big.
It is, all the way around, everything you said. And, flying blind, a couple returners from last year whenever we played them, but a lot of new players. Coach Newton from last year took a job at Motlow State Junior College, so insert Coach Morgan. So you have a new coach, don't really know exactly how he's going to mesh with the guys or what kind of style he's going to play. So did watch some of the old stuff that Coach Morgan's teams did at Bluefield, but again, we were basically going in blind, had a little bit of idea on personnel, find out where some of these transfers came from. Unfortunately for us, we couldn't find a scrimmage leading into it, so it was our first time playing an outside opponent, and after 34 days of practice of going against each other, it was nice to be able to go against somebody other than ourselves. And I think our guys really did a nice job of handling everything really well.
And we'll circle back to the win over Reinhardt here in just a bit. But let's look at this Tiger roster and some of the changes and different things that this team has underwent over the course of the last 7 or 8 months as you get to this point. And you lose a Cam Vick, you lose others in the rotation that Kobe Penny, obviously a big one, Noah Gordon, on down the line. KJ Banks had a terrific second half of the season, I felt like, for you guys. And it's hard to replace them on the fly, but one thing that you were able to do over the offseason is bring in some talented men, but also bring in a lot of them. You really went and were able to kind of replenish the cupboard, and you've got a depth situation, and we've talked about this off air, that you haven't had in a while, and I know that's one of the things right now that you guys are kind of hanging your hat on. You're able to build a really nice roster. Yeah,
I'm really pleased with it, not only the building of it, but the way it's come into the preseason, the way our guys have really gelled, and the team chemistry they've built. We had 7 returners and 8 new guys. And we talked about the depth and being available at depth, 14 guys available on night 1, which was something we haven't had in a long time. And I think we played 10 of the 14 and easily could have gone down to 11, 12, 13 just in that particular game, whether it be matchups or whatever it is. We didn't have to go that far, but feel very confident in all those guys who were available. And being able to play that many guys, we were able to keep some fresh bodies available. And I think it really worked out well, and I'm really excited with how this group has started out. And 4 of those returners in the starting lineup for you there on opening night, starting with Tyshea Epps, who was a midseason get a year and a half ago now at this point. He's battled some injuries, but I think he's that prototypical point guard, get you in the right sets. Dalton Kramer, you certainly know what DK is capable of, and then you look going on down into the post spot, kind of Javon Smith handles that wing, Jay Milburn down inside, and then Eli Brooks joins that crew. But talk to me about some of those returners, those guys that earn the minutes out of the block and in the starting lineup. Yeah, well, you go to the returners, and it's something we've been able to do the last few years, but even more so this year. I mean, of the 15 guys, 13 are Kentucky guys, a lot, not locally, but close. So, Tyshea was around a lot this summer, had a really great summer. healthy off of his broken finger from last year. He was starting that first game of the year last year until he got hurt. So good to have him back and healthy. DK, I mean, he's just sort of a basketball fanatic. Plays all through the summer, is always working. Javon, the most healthy he's been maybe since the day he stepped on campus, and that's exciting to see. He's really done great in the preseason. He looked like the Javon of old in the preseason prior to the knee injury. Jay Milburn had a great summer, has just continued to work on trying to get healthy and everything. And then you talk about Eli, who was the fifth starter, a guy that has a chance to be really good for our program and help us win a lot of games.
And then Rob Riggs coming off the bench. You've got Marcellus Vale back as he's getting healthy. Donovan Knox that's he's trying to carve out a role.
Yep.
A guy that we've talked about again off air, a really good defensive player is Don. But Sel and Ra, two veteran guys, they can bring some leadership off the bench. I know that's a good feeling as well.
It is. Marcellus Vale's just a winner. Can really shoot the basketball. Is healthy now compared to last year where the knee just he wanted to be healthy. It just wasn't going to allow him. He is healthy now. Again, another great summer of work. Put in a lot of time. Is defending much better. Still shooting the ball, whether he made some the other night or not. That's not here nor there, but is shooting it well. Is capable of really stretching the floor. But Sel has one goal in mind and one goal only, and that's winning. And that's something that those veteran guys have really taught our newcomers. And then Raw, a good summer. Thought he played really well the last 3, 4, 5 weeks of the season and has picked up where he left off. In a position where you got a lot of guys that are fighting for spots at his spot. So he's really, really working hard right now, playing with a lot more confidence, and a guy that is going to help us win a lot of games.
And look at go to the post spot first. You obviously talked about Jay, but three guys that you will have able to bring in over the course of the season. Parker Jones, some big minutes. Evan Frederick's a guy who's going to handle a lot of those duties as well down inside. And then Cannon Young. We didn't see Cannon there on Monday, but that's a freshman that's going to figure this thing out over the course of time.
It is. Cannon, you talk about it, he's a freshman coming in, probably has had as good of a preseason as anybody, and that's nothing, no knock on anybody. That's nothing about him not getting in. It's just hard for freshmen. I thought he really did a nice job. There were times with some injuries early on. He was running with our first unit because Jay was out and Big Ev was out, but he has really carved a role of no hesitation to throw him out there. A little bit of a tough matchup, probably with some guys against Reinhardt, but I expect to see him out there helping us throughout the year. Parker Jones, was really impressed with him again, and we've talked about it. Another guy battling through some preseason injuries. Great energy the other night. Really did a nice job. And offensively, still a little raw and working on some things, but, defensively, he's that energy guy, that spark. He was in there and did exactly what we sort of recruited him to do in that situation. Then Evan, Evan is a guy who I think as time goes, he's just going to continue to get better and better. Very polished offensively. We're all figuring out the defensive side of things, but a guy who can really score the basketball, demand attention, is a good passer and is a great teammate. And then, talk about one that's sort of in that tweener spot is Hayden Blakeman. He can play a little 3, play a little 4, suffered a really bad ankle injury in the preseason, so he got behind a little bit and has really done a nice job of coming along, shooting the basketball a lot better. And then, we talk about our depth. Benjamin Yambi could play the second, third, whatever point guard, could also play off the ball a little bit, but he also is coming back from an ankle injury. Was good to go the other night, but probably still a step away from where we truly need him to be. And again, what I love about it is just so many different options and different rotations we can play. So again, as we talked about, the roster is just a lot deeper than we've been, and 1 through 15 I think we can throw out there.
And I think we touched on most of them. The one guy that we didn't touch on was Tavion Smith, and he may have been as impressive as anybody on Monday night, but his ability to shoot the ball stands out the most. I was able to watch him a few times scrimmage, practice, then on Monday night. The defense, I think maybe me personally slept on the defense a little bit. He was really getting after it.
Yeah, and it's one of the hardest things now. Whenever you have 15 guys and they're all available, you do miss track of guys. And Tavion, a guy that we recruited hard out of high school, whenever we got the word last year that we weren't getting him out of high school from a coach, not anger, disappointment. And we knew he could be a big player in our program, and Fortunately, we got him on the second time around, and just a fierce competitor. You saw on the defensive side, he wants to win. He competes. Offensively, he's one of those guys that can really create shots for us and do things, and has really earned a lot of minutes, has pushed Tache every single day. And we go back and talk. Lewis Richards we haven't talked about. Lewis isn't going to be able to play first semester, it looks like. Just an unfortunate situation, but those things do happen. And Lewis is an older guy, but man, he can be special for our group. And whenever we add him in that second semester, may be one of, if not our smartest basketball IQ guy who can really do things in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, and just to kind of clear that up, an unfortunate situation for Lewis. Nothing he did.
Nope.
Just a kind of we're going to call it a miscommunication between academic institutions.
Yes.
And it led to an issue with the transcript, and that's that. Nothing Lewis did. He was ready to go.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, very late in the game, it was realized there was kind of a snafu there, and rules are rules, and that's part of it. But the Tigers get a win over Reinhardt. We'll step away here. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, and we'll revisit that game. The victory over Reinhardt University. We'll also look ahead as the Tigers take to the court in the Brady Button Memorial Classic this weekend in Columbia, Kentucky. Stay with us here on Tiger Timeout.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
Closeout segment on our season opening edition of Tiger Timeout here on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. Matt Payton with you as we close out this week's broadcast. We look back at the Tigers' season opening win over Reinhardt University, 72-61 the final score. Campbellsville gets the win as Brent Vernon joins me. And Coach, we talked at the top there as you joined us, kind of going into this one, trying to figure it out. No scrimmage. You saw Reinhardt down there a year ago, so some familiarity, but so many new faces and different guys on each team. You kind of just roll the ball out there and play. And in some ways, thinking about it, maybe that's more impressive to be able to play as well as you did and beat a good opponent, not knowing some of the things. You didn't have all the nuances in the scout and things that you'll have 3-4 weeks from now.
Yeah, I think you're dead on with that. It's one of those things, definitely nervous going into the game, trying to find the right rotations at the right times. You throw a new opponent, you throw some different timeout rules in the NAI, so there's a lot of different just quirkiness with that particular game. But I think our guys, like I said, they handled everything so well. We didn't shoot the ball particularly well early on. We didn't rebound the ball particularly well, and you still come out with a double-digit win. So I think that shows a lot of maturity, because I don't think we really ever panicked. I knew being the first game against a different opponent, there would be lapses where we would be really rusty and maybe not look the part, but we only had 7 turnovers for the game. You take away the rebounding in the first half and not making a lot of shots throughout the entire game from 3. The rest of the game was really pretty clean. I thought our defensive effort was really good.
Some of the numbers from that matchup, the win over Reinhardt, Jay Milburn and Eli Brooks lead the way. You get a couple double-doubles, and that's always hard to do, but you see that kind of that 1-2 punch that they can be capable of from the 4-5 spot. Dalton Kramer, he actually apologized to me after the game. I said, DK, I know you're going to hit more the next time out, man. He didn't shoot it particularly well, especially by his standards, but 9 points, 7 assists, and really it was the defense in the second half allowed you guys to kind of go on that run. We talked about Parker Jones. He kind of sparked some of that with his play, but you hold them 11 minutes without a field goal. I think they had 5 free throws over the course of 11 minutes, and that allowed you guys to separate there and get a comfortable lead to play with.
Yeah, we gave up 34 points the first half and 43% shooting, which we always want to be 39 or less. But you go back and look, we were -8 on the rebounds. They had I think 7 offensive rebounds. They scored 5 of those. So our first shot defense was really about 30%. It got up to 43 because of those second chance points. So I thought if we could keep our focus going in the second half and rebound the ball, we could maybe gap them a little bit. We did that. We were +6. Still gave up a few too many offensive rebounds, but we also got some of those. And as you said, we had that 11-minute stretch, and you said that after the game, and I knew we had a stretch. I did not know it was that long. Our team, we have a goal of trying to get 7 kills a game where it's 3 stops in a row. And at 7, our assistant got a little excited and sort of lost track. I think we were at 9 when it was all said and done. So that was really good. And you talk about analytics and numbers, 92% of the time, if you get 7 or more kills in a game, you win. So that was really good to see off of game 1. And we use that and just try to build and get better with it.
And now you'll have a few days to we talked about this in the post game, you're able to digest that game, that film. You have a little more to work off of. It's not a practice, it's a different opponent. What have the last couple of days looked like and leading up into this weekend in Columbia?
Well, we went straight into film on Tuesday. We rested and recovered on that, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday's back to the grind of practice. Wednesday, Thursday, we really get after each other. Friday, we'll scale back a little bit, and our day before the game it takes a little different turns depending on the situation. But back to back, we have to have a day of more just sort of preparation, saving our legs a little bit like that. But again, it's a lot more gratifying knowing you get to practice with 15 bodies. Last year and 2 and 3 years in a row, you never knew if you had 8 or 9 guys. 15 guys, everybody's getting reps. So we're actually able to keep guys pretty fresh and being very competitive, which is going to do nothing but help our team moving forward.
And this weekend you move forward. It's 3 o'clock start times both Saturday and Sunday. You've got Coastal Georgia there Saturday, and then on Sunday it'll be Fisk. We'll have the call on Sunday afternoon against Fisk Saturday. Follow along through Lindsey Wilson's coverage and different things through social media. But Coastal Georgia is a team that I think they've got a couple games under their belt, 1-1, I believe, at this moment. Then Fisk, they'll come in. Right now they don't have a win. That could change depending on their outcome with Lindsey Wilson. But 2 teams you get a look at, non-conference games early in the year. It's, again, you kind of just throw your hat up and hope for the best at times.
It is. And luckily now that even though it's a week and a half that the season's gone through, we do have film on Coastal Georgia and Fisk. But it's still a little bit of blindness. Coastal Georgia, 10 new players, a new coach. Coach McAllister used to be an assistant just last year at Western Kentucky and has taken over and done a really nice job, recruited and got some good Division I transfers in there. Lost one earlier this week to Gwinnett, Georgia, who's very good. And then Fisk is they're a team that is so scary. Long, athletic, just continue to throw athletes at you, a team that you got to be able to keep off the glass and keep the ball in front of you and not let them get to the rim and get second chance opportunities. So I like our schedule, early, middle, and late of the non-conference. They're all NAI opponents. They're good opponents. And it's going to help prepare us for Mid-South Conference. So, back-to-backs can be hard. We're going to be used to them because we have a lot of those. So we're going to be able to test our will early on and see how we respond.
Yeah, you look right in the month of November, we could almost call it Classic month.
Yes,
You've got
absolutely.
so many classics. In fact, I think it's every weekend in November, if memory serves me correctly. So the back-to-backs, what are the things on Saturday you're looking at? Does it change substitution patterns, or is it kind of almost the playoff mode? We'll win this one today and we'll worry about tomorrow.
Yeah, well, we approach every day as 1-0, and I think the beauty about it right now, if you would have looked at us last year with 8 and 9 guys, we would have been thinking, all right, we are going to play all 8 or 9 and we're going to sub frantic and we're going to do that. Well, we're going to have 14 available. So I think it's more of all year and all practice and preseason we've talked about, use our numbers to our advantage. go out there and compete and play to exhaustion because we have enough depth to continue. So we're just going to try to ride our depth and continue to get better as a team each and every day, and I think it'll work out for us in our favor.
The Tigers, again, back in action this weekend. They take to the floor at the Bigger Sports Center in Columbia, 3 o'clock both Saturday and Sunday. Coastal Georgia there Saturday, Sunday. Fisk University coverage begins on Sunday at 2:45 here on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. Coach, best of luck this weekend.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
For Ginger High Colvin and Brent Vernon, I'm Matt Payton. We'll see you next time on Tiger Timeout.